Hey everybody, let's go ahead and seeing if I can do this. Am I live? Okay, so hey everybody, I am excited because I'm live on Facebook, on YouTube. Can't go live on Instagram because my phone is acting a little bit not so cool. I have to figure that out, but I'm recording so I can post this on Instagram. So this is really cool. So some of you who have been watching my videos know that I am doing a Facebook, Instagram, and now YouTube live every day for the next 30 days. And today is day 5, I believe. I need to keep track of my days so that I know when it's over. And I will go into further detail about why I'm doing 30 days of these lives. But in a nutshell, I am doing a 30-day challenge to myself where I do certain things for 30 days to see what it produces within me. And along the way, I said that I would make note of any thoughts or anything like that that came to me and share it via Instagram, Facebook, and now YouTube Live. So today was an interesting day. Had a couple of different conversations with some friends and family members, not together, different conversations. And the reason that I started this with do you talk like you care? I was gonna say, like, do you need to change up the way that you communicate? But that could be taken more in a professional light. So I said, do you talk like you care? Because wanted to tap into people's mindset surrounding how they interact with one another in the communication side of things, on the communication side of things. There's no secret that with all this going on with COVID-19, with the stuff that went on with the whole election, and then all of the other stuff with the racial injustice, and you put all of that together, and now you're coming up on the holiday season, and it's just all of this stuff that's coming together that can create quite a bit of overload for many people in terms of their emotions, and rightfully so. And I myself is included. What I have noticed is that during this time, people are okay, but they're not okay, but they're okay, but they're not okay. But they're okay, but they're not okay, but they're okay, but they're not. You know what I mean? And I am one of those people who I'm okay, but I'm not, because this is fucked up. But I'm okay because I'm strong. But I'm not okay because my life just got turned upside down. But I'm okay because I can handle it. But I'm not okay because I'm uncomfortable. But I'm okay because I'm alive. But I'm not okay because, it's really hard. But I'm okay because I'm grateful. But I'm not okay. Like, there's all of this stuff. And I'm realizing how important it is, in my opinion, to have, oh my goodness, my power cord. It's important to have your power cord. I'm almost done. I'm okay, but I'm not okay, but I'm okay, but I'm not okay, because I didn't have my power cord. So my computer's about to die. So I guess that's the unfortunate side of doing lives and not recording. So what is, in all seriousness though, communication is just like so important, but I feel like it's even more important right now. And ask yourself this: are you the person who your friend or your family member would feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling and sharing, like what's really going on? Are you that person? Are you the type of a communicator who can speak to somebody that you know and hear in their tone that something may be going on, and you can ask them a question in a certain kind of way that can help them to feel comfortable in sharing what's really going on? Are you the type of person who, when someone shares something that is going on, or they share a little bit of how they're feeling, and they do it in a way where they're like putting their toe in, so they're only sharing a little bit, you know what I mean? Are you the type who can feel that and can show compassion, or do you clown and joke? What kind of person are you? And I'm asking this because I was talking to a friend yesterday, and we were talking about a pretty heavy topic. And we were talking about, how things used to be when we were in college versus how things are now. And your circles change, and the people you interact with, the people you encounter change, and the dynamics and the energy and all of that stuff can shift. And sometimes it's hard to, if you formed a relationship with a person or people, and it's like there's always that like that clowning energy, or it's always that argumentative energy, or it's always that like kind of like this when you talk energy. How much has that changed as you've gotten older, such that if you were to go back to those people or to that person, and you're talking about something that is a little bit more sensitive in topic or a little bit more personal, do you receive one another at a mature level or how you used to? I hope this is not getting lost. But I just feel like right now there needs to be more of an openness with communication, and more of a sense of compassion and empathy. Now, I learned this kind of, well, not the hard way, but I learned this a few years ago, because I am one of those people. I didn't always clown people. That wasn't my personality, but I was the type of person where, like, I was taught to, if you have a position on something, you stand up on it, you defend it. There's nothing wrong with, healthy debating, and there's nothing wrong with standing your ground, and I'm in this conversation to win or to be right. These are things that I was taught by my dad. And sometimes that would come across as a little bit void of a heart or empathy. And when I was younger, I'm still young, but when I was younger, I didn't always understand that. I didn't always get that. It was like, we're just having a conversation. I wasn't necessarily gauging what was going on for someone else. I wasn't necessarily gauging how it can be received on the other end. But when God set my butt down a couple of years ago, when I feel like I really went through a state of depression, I really, really learned the power of compassion. And it started because I had to learn to have compassion first for myself. And that's also what I realized that I had not done. I had not really tapped into compassion for myself. It just wasn't a factor at all. And once I started realizing that man, I'm pretty hard on myself. I'm pretty focused on making sure things look and feel a certain way so that I can do this and do that. It was like, okay, Carrie, you're a person. And people need people. People need love. They need empathy. They need connectivity. And they need that from themselves first. So why don't you pause and be willing to go there with yourself? Be willing to have compassion for you and where you are right now, instead of you being so clinical and so, rigid on what you think should be. Just relax a little bit. And when I started to do that, it's weird because people around me started to gravitate to me. I would get calls and I would get questions of, how are you really doing? What's really going on? Which would open up the conversation, and I got to really, really feel someone extending that that compassion to me. And I was a prideful person. I'm not as prideful as I was. So I never really thought I needed that from someone or people until I received it during some of my hardest times that I've experienced. And ever since then, I have included in my, in the things that I work on with myself, how do I become more compassionate and more empathetic of people? And so when I'm communicating with people, I work on learning to listen from their perspective, learning to maybe hear what their heart is attempting to communicate, that their words and mouth is not communicating. And also, what kind of a vibe and what kind of energy am I putting out? Am I putting out energy that welcomes people to say what they really need to say? Or am I putting out energy to make people, crawl up and get defensive and close? Or am I putting out energy where people don't want to, what are you doing? Where people don't want to talk to you? Oh. Come here, Jay. Come here, baby.
Jay's running too fast with the baby's head on the door.
I hear y'all. Okay. He's gonna do the line with me. You gotta stay out there. It's okay, babe. That was him. He ran into the door. So, or are you putting out energy where nobody wants to talk to you at all? So, why is this important? Again, I think this is important now more than ever because, as I said before, people are okay, but they're not, but they are, but they're not. And for some people, the conversation of how are you doing? Or the conversation of them coming to you and them saying something and the way that you respond could really make or break things. I was listening, I don't know if you guys watched the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion that is it on Netflix or is it on, I don't know, Joe put it on, so I don't know if it was on Netflix or if it was on something else. But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, at the end, Will has a sit down with the original Aunt Viv. I can't think of her real name. I'm sorry. I can't think of her real name. And many of you may know that they haven't spoken for like 20 something years. And it's funny because when I used to watch her interview, like her put up her lives and stuff like that, kind of going at Will and at Jada, I would tell Joe, like, she is really hurt. Like, this is all of what I'm seeing is she's just hurt. She's hurting. Her feelings are hurt. And long story short, when they had their sit down, on top of the fact that Will acknowledged that he was, 20 something years old when stuff went down, basically it was a lack of communication. It was he didn't have the empathy that he should have had. He acknowledged that he realized what he should have done now that he's a parent that he didn't do then. But I was like, wow, I was talking to Joe and I was just like, wow, all of that time passed by. They changed the lady's character on the show. She's been blackballed from the industry. And really all it was she was dealing with a lot at home. She was in an abusive marriage. She was going through a lot. She had been rejected by her family. All of this was going on, but she didn't feel comfortable enough to talk about it. And no one apparently reached out to her enough to ask to find out what's going on. I know that I've had conversations with a couple of people already during this time. I've shared some of what I've been going through. They've shared some of what they've been going through. And it's amazing because many of us were going through similar things during this time, but we're doing it in our own households. But we're all strong because remember, we're good, but we're not good, but we're good. And I've also witnessed people who are, I don't know if it's a cover up or if it's, I'm not going to say that it's an insensitivity. I'm going to say that it's connected to maybe something in their past. But I've also seen a lot of apathetic people who I feel like could be just straight up mean. And maybe some are doing it intentionally and maybe some are not. But for those of us who care to be caring and kind and empathetic, but we may not be paying attention to how we're coming across. Or maybe you're the jokester who makes a joke out of everything. That could be so exhausting sometimes, to the point where you clown people when they say anything to you. It's like everything is a joke. Nothing can be serious. Maybe just take a step back and figure out where that's coming from for you. Because like I said, that's what I had to do. I had to figure out, like, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling like I'm pushing people away more than I'm, pulling them to me? And then once you recognize that, you can do something about it. You can. Now more than ever, y'all, we need to realize how much we are connected and how much together we can really create something better than it was, how together we can get through all of what's being thrown our way. But if there's an unwillingness to really go there with people and to open up your heart, to open up your heart chakra, to allow that energy to release itself and to go into the universe and to marinate and manifest and all of that good stuff, then it's going to be difficult to do that. And again, you don't know how important your conversation is to somebody. You just don't know. So, didn't want to make it too heavy, but I just felt that on my heart. So that's what I'm sharing. I am going to go ahead and get back to my family now. I hope that everybody has a wonderful, wonderful evening. My apologies for a couple of the interruptions, but that's just kind of how life is over here. We do it the real way. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop all of these lives. You want to say bye? Say bye. Say bye. Say see you tomorrow. Yeah, pretty soon we're going to ask you to subscribe and like and do this and do that, but we didn't do that yet. So we'll get to that point. All right, let's go ahead and end this. Okay, we'll end that. End that. And that.